Hello again, YouTubers and Cardfight fans. 24/7 here again for Cardfight 24/7 with a Cardfight Vanguard tournament report brought to you by Cardfightcapital.com. We are launching soon, targeting June 1st at the latest. You can currently join a mailing list on the website, Cardfightcapital.com, to be alerted as to when we fully launch. We'll have full e-commerce, blogs, forums, card of the day, and more. For today's video, it is a tournament report of a team tournament qualifier that we had today. In Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's the only team qualifier in the whole state of Wisconsin for this tournament circuit, so the next closest is like 3.5 or 4 hours or so away at least. So being a 15-minute drive for me, it was a no-brainer to go to it. Yesterday spent about 8 hours training, testing, tweaking with my teammates. Day before that about 5 hours, so got as ready and prepared as we could. End of the tournament. There was a little confusion because on the Cardfight Vanguard website, it says the tournament is held at noon at their store. But last week, at the weekly tournament at the store, they said it would be at 1 o'clock at the Let's Play Green Bay event at a convention hall. So, was told two different things. I planned to get there at the convention hall by noon, and it ended up being held at noon. So, the website was right with the time, but not the location, and the store owner had the location right, but not the time when he told us the week before that. So it's a little confusing. I don't know if there's anybody else that was going to enter. I didn't see anyone else come in late or anything, but we have actually starting about 12:30. We only had 6 teams. I was expecting about 6 to 8. One of the teams there was not anticipated. They came in from Milwaukee, about a 2-hour drive away. So that was the only team that I was not familiar with at all. But the tournament structure is also very different. I don't know if all of them are being run the same way or what. But for a 16 tournament, we start with 3 rounds of Swiss. And for those 3 rounds of Swiss, we were broken up into 6 pods with 1 player from each team in each pod. So I was in, say, pod A, a team of mine's in pod B, and their teammates in pod C. So we can't play each other that way. And so there's 1 member of each team in each pod. And we have 3 rounds of Swiss, so basically we play 3 out of 5 possible opponents. And then after that, we cut to top 4, so 4 teams out of 6 teams, and then it starts double elimination within the teams. And to figure that out, it's whatever your cumulative record is as a team in the Swiss rounds. So with 3 rounds of Swiss, that means there's 9 games for 3 players total. I figured with 6 teams and 4 making it, I figured if your team goes 4 and 5, maybe even 3 and 6, you'll make top cut. So, don't have to do that well in Swiss to make it. But anyways, round 1, I'm facing a player from the out-of-town team who is playing Dragonic Overlord The End. And lo and behold, my tournament luck comes to a screeching halt. I go first. In my hand, my opening hand before Mulligan, I believe, was a grade 3, a grade 2, maybe a second grade 2 or grade 3, and a couple of triggers. So I kept a 2 and a 3, Mulligan 3. Do a full shuffle, let them cut, draw my cards, trigger, trigger, trigger. I go first, draw for a turn, trigger. So, for my first turn, I get to ride a draw trigger, call back Mecha Trainer. That's all I can do. He then does damage to me on his turn. So, my next turn I draw. No grade 1 again. So I use Mecha Trainer's ability, and I believe I got Medical Manager, the one that can soul charge. So yeah, he goes away, and I can't ride yet, obviously. So I just swing for 5, so I'm able to draw a card. Don't do any damage. His go, he gets out all his grade 2s, full front row and everything. Hits hard, gets me to probably 3 or 4 damage that turn. Next turn I can finally ride a grade 1, and I think I drew a 1 as well. I think it was Reckless Express. I think I rode Medical Manager and played Reckless Express to the rear guard. And then I hit one of his rear guards because if I do damage to him, he can use Counter's ability, and there's obviously plenty of Counter Blasts with Kagero, so I want to limit his Counter Blasts as much as possible. So basically, my focus of this game was hit the rear guards and hope that he won't be able to replenish the field and that I can eventually make a comeback. But long story short, He got me to 5 damage. My 5th damage was a heal, so I went back down to 4. And he was still at 0 damage. So it was 4-0. But before I finally took my 6 damage, I did manage to give him to 4 damage. Tried to make a comeback. Made it closer than I thought I'd be able to. I should have gotten one more turn out of it. I misblocked by 1 card or something, I think. When he attacked with the end, I had a brain fart or whatever. I didn't use my P guard on the first attack when he attacked a Panzergale and rear guard. And then with that attack, he got double critical. So, and then he used the ability, stands it, attacks the Vanguard, so then I have to P-guard. And then I ended up being like 5,000 damage shy, I think, of being able to block all his attacks. I would have got another turn, but he had like 7 cards in hand, and just on that turn he drew 4 cards, including at least those 2 criticals. So, I wouldn't have been able to get him to 6 damage that turn, unless you just made very, very stupid mistakes, and then he would have easily had me the next turn. So, didn't cost the game, made it closer than I expected, but still did not go too great. So, I lose round 1. One of my teammates who's playing Shadow Paladins, he won, and my Gold Paladin teammate lost. I don't know what they play in each round. Well, I know some of them, but I'm just going to focus on my matches because I actually know what happened in them. Usually my match was when the last one's done because I think and analyze things more than most people possibly. Or you can say I'm slower, whatever. Not trying to stall or anything. I always get done before time is called, but I'm usually the one that my teammates are watching because they're already done. So, my team starts off 1 and 2 after round 1. Round 2, I face a Pale Moon. I actually faced them the night before and during our testing session, although they're on another team. However, one of the guys on my team, his fiance was on the other team, and then a couple other friends, so we all knew each other and all tested together, and we were hoping we'd take the 2 qualifying spots. So I played their Pale Moon. I've played them 2 or 3 times before ever, I think. So, and they have different variations of their Pale Moon deck they keep switching back and forth on, so it's one of the decks I'm least familiar with and least know how to go about combating it. Game went smoothly enough, didn't miss any rides or anything, but late game I made, sadly, another very stupid mistake when guarding. I think I used a P-guard and discarded a Medical Manager with it while I had a Juggernaut Maxim in hand, which ended up being the last card I had in hand, and when they got triggered with their Vanguard to use on their final row of rear guards, I ended up being 5,000 shy of being able to defend. I was thinking ahead, but not well. So I was thinking ahead like, well, I knew I needed 2 cards in hand to use my limit break, but I was thinking, well, I got Juggernaut, I'm going to be able to play him so I can attack with him. Not getting to the point in my head where, oh yeah, if he's in my hand, I can use my limit break ability, because I'll draw another card, so that'd be 2 cards in hand, but I'm not going to be able to play him as an attacker anyway. So I 100% should have pitched Juggernaut Maximum with the P-guard and not Medical Manager, and I would survive that turn, and I likely would have won that game. But when we get to the end here, you'll see that that mistake at least did not cost us one way or another. And in that round, my Shadow Paladin teammate lost, Gold Paladin won, so we went 1 and 2 again. So we're at just 2 and 4 through 2 rounds, with one round of Swiss left, when I was saying 4 and 5, 4 wins, 5 losses should make cut. So our team needs to go 2 wins and 1 loss at worst in this round to be comfortable with making top cut. So 3rd round, there's 2 players, including myself, that are 0 and 2 in my pod. However, I get paired up, which I actually did in the previous round as well, as the Pale Moon won round 1. So I got paired up 2 rounds in a row, this time against another Dragonic Overlord, the end deck. The early mid-game went smooth, no missed rides, etc. However, late game, it was my attack, and my hand size was limited. I didn't feel comfortable being able to block another full onslaught of attacks, and then having enough to do enough damage on my next turn. So I was hoping to be able to win on this turn. I believe I had Juggernaut and Bracky or something like that in the front row. Something I could hit and run with and free up the spots for, of course, I'm not playing many of the cards here but for reference, but you get the idea. For Deadly Emperor's ability, you should know what that does by now, probably from my other videos and stuff. You can, when he attacks a Vanguard, you put 2 to soul from your hand, counterblast 2 damage, then search your deck for up to 2 Spike Brothers and call them to open rearguard circles. So it's Juggernaut and stuff, you free up the front rearguard circles, and you get extra attacks, up to 5 attacks in a turn. I had nobody behind my Emperor, so I'm swinging after I use the ability. I get 2 Panzergales, because I wasn't feeling confident about doing enough damage because he had about 5-6 cards in hand. So I figured he'd be able to block all my attacks that I'd left, and he was sitting at 5 damage with about 5 or 6 in hand. And his Vanguard is the end. He did not have Dragonic Overlord under him. And he had already gotten a trigger on an earlier damage, so he was sitting at 16,000 to my 10. I swing, he says no block. I check my first trigger, and it's a draw trigger. I need 2 triggers to hit if I put them on the Vanguard. And given the game state I described earlier, I felt my best chance of winning is to just, although I didn't think the odds were great of doing so, put it on the Vanguard, and if I get another trigger, unless he gets a heal, it's game over, and we're good. So, draw trigger, put it on the Vanguard, and with the draw trigger I got Juggernaut at maximum, which is relevant. Next check, heal trigger, put it on the Vanguard, attack gets through, he doesn't get a heal, so I finally have some luck go my way, and get a win by way of double trigger. And the good news continues as both my teammates won that round, so we went 3-0 in that round, and finished 5-4, and I believe we were the 3 seed going into the top 4 cut then. So then, on to the top cut. In the first round of the top cut, the way they paired these now it's a full team-on-team in top cut. The way they paired these was based on the order they entered your names when we registered, and we got paired against the same people that we had in our pods. So first round of top cut, I'm facing the same Pale Moon deck again. I don't know if that's intentional, if that's how it's supposed to be ran or not. I'd prefer to face different people, just to get more variety and a more fun environment instead of playing the same people over and over. But maybe that's just me. This game went much more smoothly. I drew a lot better, played smarter, and I knew what most of her hand was from previous triggers late in the game. So on one of my final attacks, I was using my limit break and doing the math and knowing what is in their hand for the most part, and then the cards I wasn't sure of, assuming they're 10k triggers. I knew they didn't have enough shield to be able to block a full onslaught. So I got 2 Juggernauts. I think I still had a Wonder Boy and maybe a Medical Manager in the back row that I did not use to boost the first attacks. And I think my Vanguard was swinging for 20, and I could have done 23, 24, something like that. She knew she couldn't do it either, so first attack they let through. No heal trigger, so that game was over. I won that one, but unfortunately, both my teammates lost. My teammate with the fiance, he faced his fiance just like in round 1. He won in round 1, but in the top cut, he lost to her. And Gold Paladin teammate also lost. But on his, I know he had the game, similar to how I won my last round against Dragonic Overlord at the end. He had the reverse happen to him against a different Dragonic Overlord at the end, where the end had to get a double trigger to get the win, and he did. Had that not happened, it sounded like he had the game well in hand and would have had it. So, got the karma, the bad luck, end of the stick right back right after we had that one good streak in the last round. So it's double elimination, so we're still alive. Next round top cut, we face the Odd Town guys. I'm facing that same Dragonic Overlord the end deck from round 1. Kind of annoying me during this match, although it should have benefited me. My opponent was paying, it seemed like, very little attention to the match. He was constantly looking over his teammates, making table talk, which I don't know if he was seeing what was in his teammates' hands and like giving them advice at the same time. I was doing my best just to focus on my match at hand and not worry about what he was or wasn't doing, just making sure I don't make play mistakes. But anyways, at one point, he went first, so he rides grade 1, I ride grade 1, he goes to grade 2, then I go to grade 2. I think I played Bracky, and I think I played a Panzer Gale, and I think I had some grade 1 over here or something. And then while I'm pondering over my best way to go about things, then he chimes in, "Oh, you're not grade locked to grade 0 this time, but you're grade locked to grade 2. And I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I have Deadly Emperor in my hand. It's like, do you think I went first? Am I supposed to play this now? I didn't, but based on his comments, I feel like if I wanted to be a cheat, which I'm not, I could have been like, oh no, I'm not grade locked, there's my Deadly Emperor. And I don't know if he would have known the difference, honestly, but I didn't do that because I don't want to play like that. But anyways, game was still going plenty well and stuff. I forget if it was the turn Almost on his next turn then, he rides to Dragonic Overlord the end and attacks. He didn't have enough to counterblast or something like that, or based on his triggers and stuff that he's shown earlier, I was pretty confident he didn't have the end in his hand. And he didn't at that point. But he double crits me for 3 damage. So that wasn't cool, which put me up to, I believe, 5 damage because I was at 2. Comes back to my turn, and I'm at 5 damage. I don't remember, I think I got up to 4 damage at that point, and that goes to his turn. I know I don't remember every single detail, but I think we're getting in-depth enough as it is here. But anyways, then on his turn, I had enough to block, let's see. Is that 4 or 5 damage now? I think I blocked enough on the Vanguard, so he had to get 2 triggers. No. I think I was at 4 damage here. My apologies if I'm mistaken here, but pretty sure I was actually at 4 damage, not 5. I don't know if I hit a heal trigger. Oh, 4. I must be at 4 damage. We'll see if I'm at 4 damage here. He attacks my Emperor with his Dote. And I don't guard because I have enough to block his rear guards, but not the Vanguard. And if he gets a critical, then oh well, he can put it on someone else anyway, and I won't be able to block anyway. So I let the Vanguard's attack go through. First check, I think he got a heal trigger, which he then applies the 5,000 to the Vanguard, even though I wasn't blocking, which made no sense to me. Second trigger, critical. I don't get a heal, so he gets the game. Just upset me that I lost to him, given the fact that he was paying minimal attention. I didn't feel like I made any play mistakes, and he was putting triggers on the Vanguard, which was, the attack was already going through for no apparent reason. So, just kind of irks me the wrong way or whatever when you lose to someone like that who isn't paying attention, they're not playing well, they're just playing what is the most played and arguably the best deck in the format right now, and they feel like they don't have to pay as much attention or something like that, I guess. But that's the way it goes. And my teammates that round, Shadow Paladins lost, Gold Paladin won. So, and I know the Shadow Paladin guy, he was facing another Gold Paladin. And at one point in their game, the Gold Paladin guy had all 4 of his P guards in his hand. So for every big attack that the Shadow Paladin guy did, they had a P guard on the ready. So, not much he could have done there. I don't really know how he got 4 P guards in his hand. That just dumb luck or bad shuffling or stacking. I don't know. I don't want to call people cheaters. I'm not suggesting he cheated because I wasn't watching their game because I was focusing on my own, like I said. I just don't like the fact that my opponent was, after we were done, he made some comments. Like he said something like to the Gold Paladin guy, "Oh, you can play what's in your hand." And I'm like, you can't tell him what to do while he's playing. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what's in his hand." But whatever. Bottom line, we lost. We basically took 4th as we were the first team in Top Cut to lose 2. So I'd say we took 4th. My teammate's fiance's team, who had the Pale Moon, Dote, and a Mega Colony deck, they got 3rd. And the Atom guys from Milwaukee that don't pay attention to that got 2nd because they didn't want to play the finals against some other guys. The team that took 1st, one of their guys on the team is the guy that took 2nd place at my Stanley Cup qualifier, who took 2nd place to me. We're going to carpool down to our regional on Saturday the 20th and trying to get a team together for Sunday of next week because there's a team qualifier about 45-minute drive northeast of where our regional is. I got one guy that he knows locked in and waiting for a couple people to find out their work schedules and stuff like that if they can go. So I'm hoping I can have another crack at the team tournament qualifier on Sunday, the day after my Stand Up the Cup regional qualifier, or regional, not qualifier, I'm already qualified for it, obviously. But yeah, I'll let you guys know how those tournaments go after they happen as well, obviously. And this video ends up being longer than I anticipated. My apologies. Hopefully it was insightful enough for you guys. Just another time to basically complain that in these kind of tournaments, I don't know why they're all best of 1. Some people travel several hours to go to them. My regional, I gotta travel about 4 hours or so to get there. Where, like in round 1 of my games today, I got grade locked at 0, which happens to everybody at some point. And you can test deck test and tweak things as much as you want and get what is the most ideal build possible. But it's still going to happen at some point, no matter how well you shuffle and how well your deck is made. It would just stink to for instance, if I got second place at regionals and then have to pay my way to go to Orlando, Florida for the Continental Championship, which would probably between either gas to get there via car or plane ticket plus hotel, would probably have to be back at least $500. If I did that, go there, and then first 2 games, I just get grade locked or something, and it's just over. That'd be pretty crappy, but hopefully in future tournament circuits, they change it to best of 3, or maybe have like a larger number of rounds for Swiss, and then do a top cut, in which case, to have best of 1 in Swiss, but enough rounds to make it worthwhile, and then the top cut have a best of 3. I know other tournaments like Pokemon and stuff, Pokemon, they had regionals this weekend in Wisconsin, and I believe they had their Swiss rounds on Saturday, and then their top cut was on Sunday, so a 2-day event. The Vanguard tournaments here in the best of 1 format, the 2 tournaments I went to for stand-up and the team, they took like 3 hours each, which is pretty short for a major tournament, but I don't know if people prefer that. Overall, I personally would be fine playing a 6 to 8 hour tournament. Part of doing well in big tournaments is having the endurance to play many games and continue to do well, but that's enough of my rant. I'll just end here. So subscribe if you haven't. Give us a big thumbs up for hopefully a worthwhile tournament report here. Hopefully I didn't put you guys to sleep or anything. Stumble over my words too badly. I know when I'm just going off talking, rambling like this, I can stutter, well, not stutter, but tie up my words a bit, slur my words, not talk very clearly, just what I do. My apologies. Check out cardfightcapital.com. Right now you can join the mailing list to be alerted when we go live at the website fully. You can also like our Facebook page for Cardfight Capital and follow us on Twitter. All those links are below as well. And once we do launch the website, we'll have full e-commerce, blogs, forums, card of the day reviews, and more. We'll have some other Cardfight YouTubers helping out with the blogs and card of the day reviews. So we'll be getting tips and tricks from some of the top Cardfight players in the country. So I'm excited for when that is all up and going and doing well. So I know you guys will like it. So it should launch, like I said, by June 1st. So check it out. And I'm sure you guys will like it once we're all systems go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next video.